least I think we're live. Here we go. Yo, left up. What's up?
Yep, BM.
BM. Let's see. Let me check my Twitter to see if we're live.
Yep, we're live. I see Morrow and Loser.
How do I get the chat up here?
We got PFP.
Here we go. Morrow, what's up? Good to see you. Okay, who will get the airdrop? Users? Well, if it's not users, who's going to get the airdrop? Ooga Booga. Hello.
Hello, David, Corey, and Storm.
In all seriousness, to answer this question, who will get the airdrop? Users? Well, the answer to that is the criteria has not been released yet. But as soon as that criteria is released, you will know. Well, you can kind of maybe calculate who's going to get the airdrop. CBB probably. Well, if CBB has been using Ooga Booga, potentially he will get the airdrop. Nothing against him. Airdrop with vesting? No, airdrop has no vesting. Airdrop will be 100% liquid on TGE. There will be 100% on TGE. Absolutely. Ooga Booga. F'd up, how are you doing today?
Good day, sir. Good day. Big week. Obviously, big news go out today. Yeah, I can't complain.
How's Serbia?
Serbia, huh? Pretty good, I'd say. Out with some good guys.
Yes, sir. If you guys don't know, the entirety of the Ooga Booga team is currently in Serbia to handle this, to make sure everything goes smoothly with TGE, with the Launchpad sales, everything. I told you, my name is Kevin, by the way. I told you, Kevin, that I'm going to test the TGE day for Ooga Booga. Okay. Johnny mentioned BM2C holder will get, no. We'll get GTD, whitelist, and OOGA. Is it true? No. There will be no whitelist from partner collections for OOGA. Put me in the screenshot, sure. You can be in the screenshot. AZ says, waiting for my airdrop. Soon.
Wait for that criteria to drop and you'll find out.
Yes, sir. Send your questions in the chat. I'm going through them one by one. We've got about 10 to 15 minutes here where I'll be answering questions live on chat to make sure everyone's in full understanding of what's going on here. Discord role losers will get OOGA. There has been a GTD whitelist allocation with no over allocation to certain Discord role holders, i.e. good bearers and super bearers, for the ramen round. Where is my free $20? No free money in this world. Travis, utility of OOGA. Well, essentially you can take your OOGA, you can bond it for Booga, and then you can allocate it into certain modules. You can allocate it into a dividends. Whoops, sorry, legal. I meant revenue share. You can allocate it into a revenue share model, which you will then earn a certain percentage of the protocol fees. And so essentially it's a bullish bet on the Ooga Booga protocol itself. If you think Ooga Booga is profitable, then that's exactly where you want to be, right? You want to be earning some of the juicy fees that we're making as well. Who is getting the airdrop? Testnet user or mainnet user? Criteria has not been released yet, but let's just put it this way. If you genuinely used Ooga Booga, you should be included in the allocation. But I would point out that it is relatively hard to actually filter out who is a Sybil and who is not a Sybil on testnet. Because how do you actually do that? Like, if I was going to ask you the question of how do you get how do you determine who's a bot and who's not a bot on testnet? It's very hard, actually. FDV on Ramen will be smaller than on Fjord. No, the FDV on Ramen and Fjord is the same FDV. Kelvin is getting the airdrop. First of all, my name's Kevin. Okay, thank you, please. Kevin, my name is Kevin. And Kevin is getting the airdrop. I'm not sure what to respond to that with. Will we have LPs ready after the drop? Yes, this is a great question. So in the Berachain ecosystem, we've noticed a few launches in the past where there has been a slight delay between LP tokens, receipt tokens from Launchpads and seeding the LP, and also like opening up airdrops. All of these things happen with a sort of time discrepancy, right? Where sort of whether the LP gets seeded first and then the tokens from Ramen are received by users. You potentially have like a big green dildo and a big red dildo as soon as people receive the tokens. It's not something that we want. And so in fact, actually what we're doing now is we are bundling the seeding of LP plus the opening of the redemption of placeholder token X OOGA, and also the opening of airdrop. All of that is going to be in one transaction, so everyone gets the tokens at the same time. Ask Johnny NFT collections. What about mainnet users? Well, let's just put it this way: mainnet users actually risk real funds using a protocol such as OOGA Booga, and so that's going to be rewarded more heavily. Effed up, your typing is very loud.
My apologies, sir. I was just posting it in the Discord.
No, you're all good. What's the criteria of airdrop? That hasn't been released yet, but that will be released very soon. What about delegators? Delegators get nothing. Okay, so delegators, that's purely because you love me. If you love me, you delegate your BGT to me. You trust me. You get no benefit from delegating BGT to me apart from trusting me to execute on it and make the correct governance decisions. The delegation of BGT to me personally has nothing to do with the OOGA airdrop. Who will be eligible in Fjord OOGA pre-sale? There is no whitelist, so that's completely open to everyone. It's a fixed price sale, and that's going to be at 30 mil FTV. Who sell OOGA won't get Kevin in. Okay, wait, I'm not promoting any coins today. Okay, that's about all the questions. F-Dub, were there any sort of like FAQ or frequently asked questions in the Discord that potentially we could address?
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe we could also just go for like a quick rundown of, I guess, the news today for anybody who might have missed earlier. I guess just like a quick TLDR for the expected, OOGA Booga news, the Ramen launch, where they can participate.
Is that a question or is that a statement?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, just sort of like run it over.
Okay, yeah, sure. So why don't we just run through the Twitter post? Let's just go from the top here. Yeah, so essentially we announced the OOGA TGE today, and from the outset, there's going to be 2 community sales. It's going to be split into 2 platforms. Number one is Ramen, which is the native launchpad for Berachain, and that's going to have 150K allocation at a 30 mil FTV. The other allocation is going to be compartmentalized into Fjord, which is on their Berachain deployment. The raise is going to be in Honey, and that's also a fixed price sale at a 30 mil FTV. But that has slightly more funds able to be bought there. That's going to be 300K raise. Tokens are bucketed into 7 sections. And the most important thing to note is that we have a 10% airdrop, which will be fully liquid upon TGE. So we really, really wanted to reward the community and those that have been dedicated towards using OOGA Booga and love using OOGA Booga because it's a good product. And so we really wanted to just not farm users and get the tokens out there. I think we already covered what you can do with OOGA, but just to reemphasize one more time, essentially what you can take is you can take your OOGA and you can bond it into Booga, which then can be further allocated into specific modules, right? And this is a very modular thing, right? Upon launch, there's going to be a revenue share module, which essentially means that you can allocate your Booga into that and therefore receive further OOGA in revenue share. And so, as we make revenue, we buy back more OOGA and we distribute it to Booga people, to Booga holders, which have allocated to the revenue share model. And then the last tweet in the announcement is essentially stating that OOGA is going to be the primary benefactor of potential future sub-protocols, such as WhyNotHigher, that form part of the OOGA Booga collective. Now, there's been a lot of things, a lot of sort of a lot of mystery around what WhyNotHigher is, and I still can't reveal exactly what it is. But you can imagine it as Jupiter. Let's take Jupiter on Solana, right? Jupiter wants to launch a new product. Let's say they already have perps, they already have limit orders, they have DCA, and suddenly they want to launch a Launchpad, right? Well, they launched this Launchpad under the same brand as Jupiter, but they could have also launched that Launchpad under another brand. They could have launched it under some, they called it like a Boopter or whatever, something else, right? And so essentially that's the route which we're taking, right? We're essentially taking a product which could have been launched under OOGA Booga and just forming a new brand out of it. But if you compare the two of them, it's absolutely recognizable that they're from the same sort of collective / ecosystem, right? It's kind of like, if you're familiar with clothing brands, you have like Armani on the top, and you have a bunch of like sub Armanis, which is like, Emporio Armani, Exchange Armani, Superior Armani, a bunch of like these clothing brands which will benefit from Armani at the top, and all that money goes back and accrues back to the big fat owners, LVMH. That's about it on the announcement. Let's go back to the questions here. I think a few have accrued here. Can you already tell what percentage is allocated for the community? Yes, that's already on the tokenomics, which have been fully disclosed on the Twitter page. You can check that out for yourself. It's probably better for you to check it out than me articulating through it. It's very boring. So the Fjord sale and Ramen sale, the same FTV. Yes, correct. They're both at 30 mil FTV. What will be the main OOGA LP pairing asset? That has not been decided yet. That's either going to be W Bearer or it's going to be Honey. What incentives for Reward Vault? You'll see that once we put that up once we make our RFRV. So that hasn't been disclosed yet. With OOGA Booga LP, has anyone really been far as to side use even want to? With OOGA / Booga LP, has anyone really been far even as decided to use even go want to do look more? Okay, that doesn't make sense. Sorry, that doesn't make sense. Moving on.
Kevin, we got CBB in chat. He's telling you to put down the 20-year-old narrative. Is it time for the sham to end, or what do you think?
He wants to see the passport. I know you guys want to see the passport. Anyways, are the criteria the same for those who traded via API and those who trade via UI? Doesn't make a difference. When stake for OOGA? That's going to be launched as soon as token goes live. Stop about this 20-year-old narrative. Haha, funny. Just because you're old doesn't mean that I have to be old as well. What is the date for the Fjord sale? That is announced in the announcement, and that is on the 1st of April, i.e. tomorrow. Damn, why'd I April my gacha if the Fjord sale is public? Who knows? Kevin, a big fan here. Please follow me. CBB is a fan. I'm screenshotting this. Straight up.
Actually, this was one of the big questions too, Kevin, regarding the OOGA bucks. Okay. For those who aren't familiar, we had the campaign going on, sort of Yap to Earn, and a lot of people had the choice of either redeeming their OOGA bucks that they got for tweeting about the protocol, or making memes or whatever, and you could either redeem that for USDC, or you could have held it out to redeem for OOGA on TGE and get it airdropped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to form under part of the airdrop allocation. And so that's going to be fully available. We haven't forgot about OOGA bucks. That was one of the I guess we could say we invented Yap to Earn, and then Kaito came along. Just saying, if people looked on the timelines on Twitter, they'd be able to see that we tweeted Yap to Earn first, and then Kaito came along and said Yap to Earn. But just saying. Why not OOGA OM LP? Haven't considered it, to be fair. Have just been looking at W Bearer / Honey, but it's something that we could consider later on in the future. BM Kevin, any other criteria for airdrop besides using OOGA on mainnet? Criteria has not been released yet, so I cannot talk too much upon that topic. Bucks will turn into OOGA after TG. Yes, it will be fully liquid into OOGA. Okay, ignoring that. Leak some alpha about Buck. There's no alpha. It's been fully disclosed. And also there's no ticker Buck. It's just OOGA bucks. It's been fully disclosed this whole time. You'll be getting your OOGA bucks at 10 mil valuation. When announcement or TGE date and time? That will come soon in the future. I cannot disclose a specific date or time yet. He's 20 with a premium. That's a good one, actually. I really like that. I've used that.
Z Cabal's got a good one as well. When checker.
When checker. Soon. Ramen should get a better FDV, better native community, and we have to spend money to get an allocation. Something to consider. Yes, that's definitely something that we want. That we definitely considered, but we wanted to make sure that both platforms were fair. Now, given that the Fjord deployment was also on Berachain, it's not exactly like the Fjord deployment was on Arbitrum or on like Optimism or Starknet or something like this. The Fjord deployment is specifically on Berachain as well. So in this case, both these deployments are on Berachain. Is it possible to get data about actual revenue of Ooga Booga? Yeah, if you check on chain, you can definitely see what the revenue of Ooga Booga is. I can tell you off the top of my head, it's around, in the first month, I think we've made around 200K to 250K US dollars in fees. That's a bit of alpha. I haven't disclosed that publicly before. I've been trying to keep that a little bit on the download, but that's alpha for anyone that's been tuned in on the stream. I guess that people can start calculating PE ratios or whatever, but that hardly ever applies in crypto, does it? But there's a date on claiming OOGA. It's already showing April 2nd. So the token that you're buying on Ramen is effectively a placeholder token. It's going to be the same token which you buy on Fjord. This token is known as X OOGA. Okay, and so it's a non-transferable soul-bound token. You can't do anything with it once you claim it from, if you bought on Ramen, once you claim it from Ramen, or once you claim it from Fjord. It's a non-transferable token. You can't do anything with it. Okay. And essentially once, as I said, as I explained with the bundling, right, which is seeding the LP, opening the redemptions for the soul-bound placeholder token, and also opening airdrop claims. The second element in this, which I said was the opening the redemptions for the placeholder token. The placeholder token is essentially X OOGA. So you'll come to a contract of ours on our front end, and you'll then redeem that X OOGA for OOGA, the real OOGA, essentially. We wanted to do it this way because we wanted to keep the dates flexible, and also we didn't want to rely on third-party providers, such that if things fail, we take full responsibility, right? Too late to start wash trading on Ooga Booga to boost my volume and subsequent airdrop. I'm not going to answer that. Oh, got it. It's like CPON. Yes, exactly. It's like a placeholder token. What % of revenue will be shared with Booga module depositors? That's a very good question that has not been disclosed yet, but that will come on the announcement as we disclose the TGE date, the further sort of revenue share details and things like that as well. Will OOGA token have any utilities? No, it's a meme coin. No, of course it's going to have utility. It's. I think the three biggest things that I could say is, number one is going to be the revenue share. Number two is the potential future further revenue from the conglomerate / collective of future protocols such as WhyNotHigher, and that's going to all funnel back to the OOGA token. So there's a lot of new products, of new things that we're going to be launching that's all going to be funneled back to the OOGA token. And third is actually something very interesting, is that when we launch beta products such as multi-asset swap, I know some of you guys have been very, very annoyed about claiming these rewards from boosting validators on Berachain. You're claiming like 10 different rewards and you have to individually swap all of them. Well, hey, if you want access to our multi-asset swap, potentially you have to hold a certain amount of OOGA to access that as a sort of beta access. And so that forms a sort of utility for the token as well. And then eventually, as we decentralize into governance, obviously there's going to be a governance module as well. When do you think they'll distribute the Tradeathon rewards to the yes, I believe there's a few. I think there's like
there's about 5, I think, addresses. 5 addresses for some of the creative prizes. So I think after this, those should be probably coming to you.
Yeah, they'll be distributed extremely soon. I believe we've just been slammed with the TGE stuff. What about POL? Will you go only for LP OOGA barrier, or are you planning to integrate POL for single-sided staking OOGA? Yes, absolutely. This is a really, really good question. So for proof of liquidity, we'll aim for the RFRV with OOGA-bearer. That's an obvious one. But in terms of single-sided OOGA, single-sided staking OOGA, it's technically not too beneficial for the Berachain network itself, because effectively you're just emitting BGT emissions to a single-sided staked thing, and it's not actually like increasing depth of liquidity or anything. And so we'll put up the proposal, but we expect that's only going to get approved when I think when governance hits stage 2, as it's called, when it becomes like very decentralized. Can you share a little bit more on WhyNotHigher and how that fits in with OOGA? I cannot share too many details with that. That's been kept very, very low-key and confidential for now. But all I can say is that, what can I say? All I can say is that it's a highly revenue-generating product. And if you believe on the competency of the OOGA Booga team thus far and the execution ability of us thus far, the UX which we've been able to provide, trust me, you'll be surprised at how big of an improvement WhyNotHigher is as well. Can we stop single-sided staking? Not too sure what you mean by that. You mean like not getting it whitelisted by POL? If you mean by not getting it whitelisted by POL, I don't really see definitive negatives to not whitelisting it for POL. When will you post your Vault proposal? Before TGE sale? No, so when you're posting RFRV Vault proposal on the Bearchain Governance Forum, you have to submit the contract address of the deployed token. And so that will definitely be posted directly after TGE, or it has to be after TGE because you have to have the contract address. Oh, just in general across crypto. Okay, that makes sense. What's raise amount going to be on Fjord sale? So it's going to be 300K at a 30 mil FTV, and Ramen is 150K at 30 mil FTV. WhyNotHigher? That's my question. Exactly. WhyNotHigher, bro? You got to believe. WhyNotHigher? Bruno's going to walk past it. Bruno, you want to say hi? That's the CTO of OOGA. That's the UX god right there. That's the guy that makes sure that things don't break. I'm just the laugh. I'm the guy that comes in the camera and says random shit. That's
my motherfucking dev, dog.
That's my motherfucking. Okay, I think I addressed basically the majority of the questions here. You know, I don't think there's many other questions. Choose Paul. Yeah, that's it. F-Dub, I think we can probably close it up here.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the only other question, unless there's any last second questions, also worth noting by our friends over at the Honey Jar, they put up a standard and pause report for OOGA Booga, and we're the first protocol to get 100 out of 100 that isn't from the TGE organization. So that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
They did a nice write-up. If anyone's interested, checking that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I read that. I'm surprised I didn't have to bribe the guy. I was like, hey, did I pay this guy to write such good things about me and forgot about it? Yeah. Okay, a few more questions. I had a question. Has airdrop criteria been released? No, airdrop criteria has not been released. What FTV seed round on vested? So our seed round, we raised that $10 million FTV. Did you talk about eligibility? No, I did not. Okay, that was about after. Congrats. Okay, that basically closes up. I've got a meeting to run to in about 1 minute. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate you guys having all these questions. It really shows how engaged the community is, and super appreciative of that. So, guys, thank you so much for the time today, and we'll catch you in the next one.